So, welcome to part two. I lucked out, the customer lucked out. This drive, after sitting here for about 5 minutes, finally populated. It's cold. So here we are. I don't know if you can see details, but what I generally care about is the same stuff most people care about is in the user folder. So you don't currently have permission to access this folder. That's the folder that most people work out of. I'm going to hit continue. Now, it's a failing drive, so breaking through all the Windows permissions are going to take a little bit longer. And two, well, if he has a lot of data, that generally also means this little green progress bar that takes until it gets all the way to the end. So, I don't remember how many gigabytes of data he has, but it looks like we're progressing well. So, yeah, when you have a failing drive, sometimes it will mount. In this case, it will, so it's a slow failure. It would have mounted a lot faster if it was a healthy drive. So I've done most of my Windows updates. There might be one or two left, but I want to get this data off of here so I can confidently tell the customer they're getting their data back. And I don't really want to have to reinstall that drive in the old configuration just because it's cumbersome, because then I have to go grab another USB drive, drag stuff off into that, and back onto the healthy drive. That just adds to the efforts. So, I think I've lucked out. I didn't expect a part two. I was kind of ready to give up on the data transfer USB by USB. Oh, originally the customer told me this thing was giving him blue screens. He took a picture of the blue screen, but it was so close up I didn't get enough detail to detect what it is. I got the gist of what it was in the event viewer, and that kind of implied a memory issue. It seems that modern SSDs, the cheaper ones, the OEM ones, are actually not that much more reliable than a mechanical drive. So, theoretically it's a more reliable technology, but only the aftermarket retail quality hardware is actually faster and more reliable. And what a lot of people don't realize is that when you have something like this is a mechanical terabyte USB drive. Yeah, where are we? Yeah, right here. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize that these things have breather holes. They're not actually airtight. And as anything that's mechanical and has rubber parts in it, you really don't save yourself reliability by letting it sit on a shelf. I tell people to replace their drives, whether it's an SSD or a mechanical drive, every 3 to 5 years. Now, the big deal with a SSD is that it's theoretically more reliable if you do let it sit on a shelf, because it's intrinsically just an electronic chip. But the mechanical drive could theoretically lose tolerance and lose reliability just from sitting on a shelf, because one, you get that breather hole where the oils that keep it lubricated can evaporate, and also because it has rubber parts in it that rotate, they can lose because they have things that press up against it. If they don't roll regularly, they can deform. So a lot of people don't think about that, and it's a really technical to consider when we're dealing with a $50 hard drive. But mechanical drives, oftentimes people bring me one thinking that since it's only been plugged in once or twice, that it's fine. But because they let it sit for literal years, it's suddenly not a reliable drive and won't literally even spin up, which means I have to tell them the $60 they spent on their drive needs to be replaced. So a mechanical drive really is not reliable beyond 3 to 5 years, whether it's heavily used or sits on a shelf. Alright, so it looks like that progress bar is 97% done. Once that's broken through all the older Windows permissions, I should be able to grab the documents folder, the desktop content, the favorite folder. If he had I don't think he has Outlook installed, but I usually grab the local folder Outlook file that contains all the PSTs, but I don't think he's got Outlook installed. Yeah, Microsoft brilliantly hides the archive files from Microsoft Outlook in an obscure location where only a technical person would bother. And I think they one of the things I can't figure out is why Microsoft doesn't allow you to back up those PST files to their own cloud service. Still haven't figured that out. All right, looks like we're here for another minute or two. We're waiting for that green line to progress all the way across, and it's about 98% done. Then I should be able to drag and drop the customer's desktop content and all the other, the download folder, the music, the videos, whatever folder they had stored stuff in. And then we'll be able to walk away from the stock SSD. Yeah, the machine. He says that after about several minutes, that blue screen would show up. So, yeah, memory issues are probably, yeah, RAM, what, not RAM, but yeah, RAM is somewhat common failure, but not as common as an SSD or a mechanical hard drive. All right, almost done. Come on. Are we there yet? Nope, not yet. What do I say until that's done? All right, yeah, so basically, this is part 2, so I'll tell you what's up. This is, so you don't even have to watch the other video. It's the IdeaPad s340, which had its issues with a defective SSD. Basically, it was slowing. It was slow, and certain parts of the operating system were not accessible. Doing things like Windows updates were hanging, and the customer said it would blue screen, which I didn't personally witness, but he did take a picture of it. So I took my experience and decided the SSD was failing, and I'm more confident with that because now I plugged this drive in, and it took several minutes for it to populate, and it's taking a while to populate the data and breaking through all the Windows permissions. But basically, it was hanging up. That's why I ended the video the first time, and now I'm on the second video. I figured I'd show you transferring data off of this USB drive so the customer can have their stuff. This is an SSD upgrade. We installed an SSD 980 from Samsung. Can't physically, I don't want to touch the drive that was bad. That's where we're trying to get data from right now. And I've just used a USB-C adapter that converts an SSD into USB so we can transfer the data. Come on. We are almost there. I don't normally go live on a Saturday, but I'll go live whenever it makes sense. And now that I've got this set up, I actually think this is a lot easier to present. I keep turning it around because my monitor over there for the YouTube processing is right there. All right. Hurry up and wait. You can see this little red. Oh, you can't see. Hold on. There you can. That little red indicator tells me I've got some OS updates to install, and you finalize your updates by restarting the machine. How's this battery health? I can't tell, but it is charged. Oh, it's 85% charged. We'll check to see if that increases. There's really not much else I can do. All right, done with part 2. There's no point in me hemming and hawing for any number of minutes while I have nothing more to present. You've just seen part 2 of me transferring data to a IdeaPad s340.